My name's Adam Monaco and I'm the Financial Controller for Hi-Tech Oils. With our national capacity, we can now service Australian companies nationwide. Of late, we have now expanded into the New Zealand market. Here at Hi-Tech Oils, we receive premium base oils and premium additive packs. Together, with our highly trained staff, we manufacture over 500 premium quality products. Hi-Tech Oils is Australian made and Australian owned.
On today's show, we return to Sydney Dragway for our continued coverage of the East Coast Thunder as part of round 2 of the 400 Thunder Drag Racing Series. And today we feature the crowd favourites, that is Pro Slammer. Then we head over to Europe and to Adolo in Italy for round 6 of the FIM Enduro GP World Championship. This is Speedweek.
Last time out in Darwin, the Pro Slammer warfare between 11 times champion John Zappia and the newly crowned title holder Paul Mahayat picked up where it left off last season. Only this time, it was Zappia that claimed the top honours up in the top end.
It's cleared. Oh, it's cleared all right. You know nothing. It is John Zappia streaking away. He gets the win at the opening round of the season. 5.73 wrong.
The Pro Slammer Championship now rolls forward into Sydney Dragway and the East Coast Thunder, where the weather is hot and the action is set to be even hotter. Welcome to Sydney Dragway. We're here for the East Coast Thunder, and on today's show, we've got all of the action of round 2 of Pro Slammer, those supercharged sedans. Big field here. Mark Allen's with me. 16 cars entered. They said they're going to run a full 16-car field. Looks like we've got 14 in the pits, but they're still going to run them all, Mark.
How good is that? 14 Pro Slammers qualifying, and we'll be seeing on race day here at Sydney Dragway. Of course, this is the home track for our defending champion, Paul Mahayat. Will that be an advantage for him? We'll find out.
Well, after the opening round of the championship up at Darwin's Hidden Valley drag strip, John Zappia came out on top there. It was Paul Mahayat, Mark Hinshelwood, Frankie Taylor, Ben Bray that did the best of it. But Rusty Gregory's with our defending champion in the pits.
I'm down here with the reigning Pro Slammer champion, Paul Mahayat. Paul, it's hot. There's no getting around it this weekend. It's going to be tough for all the teams and drivers. How are you going to go about it?
Certainly is hot. Look, try and stay as cool as we can. Drink a lot of water. I've got a cool suit, luckily, so I can stay cool in the car. Look, we'll just have to race the conditions and see how we go, I guess.
The good thing for you guys, you did a lot of testing in the lead up to this event. Obviously experienced pretty similar conditions to what we've got today. Similar track temps. Does that mean that you've got the edge over the rest of the field?
I don't think you can have the edge in Pro Slammer, but look, yeah, we did test this week. I think we have some reasonably good data, so if we can use that in Q1, get A to B Q1, and then obviously when it gets cooler, we can lean on a bit harder.
And obviously the big picture is the championship. You guys want to go back to back. You've made no secret about it. It's not going to be easy though. You've got John Zappia already leading the points after taking first blood in Darwin. Does that get under the skin a little bit?
No, you can't let it get under your skin because you get lost. So we just take every race as it comes, try and take every round as it comes, and win round by round. And like I said before, if we can come away with a win or runner-up, it certainly helps us in the championship.
Well, we're getting ready to go into round 1 of elimination racing, and there'll be 4 rounds. But before we do, we're going to have a look back at what happened in qualifying yesterday. 39 degrees at Sydney Dragway. We were scheduled for 3 qualifying sessions. We only got 2 of them in before big wind and a rain shower came across and put paid to the night's proceedings. So, this is what we saw. Looking down on Sydney Dragway, 39 degree heat, With me was Mark Allen. Track temperature, though, was critical.
Absolutely critical. We've seen 50 degrees Celsius on track for these Pro Slammers. When you're trying to apply 3,000 to 4,000 horsepower, it can get a little bit greasy, a little bit tricky.
Well, Jeff Gradden took on Trevor Smith, the Kiwi from New Zealand. Gradden went right on down his lane, but Smith had a number of problems with the Statesman. We weren't sure we'd see him back, but, well, you never say never with a Kiwi.
He had some dramas there, pulling that car up, a lot of smoke from the team. Michelle Davies here in qualifying, still looking for that elusive 5-second pass. Scott McLean here for his first shot in the championship as well.
Yeah, Scott McLean missed the Nitro up north. He injured an Achilles heel back in June at the Gulf West North Winter Nationals warm-up. Now both these cars clearly mark overpowering the racetrack for the conditions.
Yeah, it is tricky conditions, 50 degrees Celsius on track. And these cars are so temperamental for trying to apply all that horsepower through those big rear slicks.
Well, Stephen Ham came into this race as one of the hot favourites. In Q1, he was up against Emilio Spinozzi in the Chevy. Ham with a 5.79 started to show why he was rated one of the favourites.
Oh, Spinozzi with a bit of, how you doing there in the braking area? Victor Bray, the legend on track here in Q1. He was taking on Daniel Gregorini all the way from Western Australia.
Fantastic to see Victor back in Sydney after a year's layoff.
He got the big 57 Chevy down there with a great 6.14. Gregorini with a 6.12 after Q1.
So both those guys still with plenty to work. Then debuting the new car and new sponsorship was Sam Fennick for Lloyd's Classic Car Auctions, taking on Kelvin Lyle.
Kelvin Lyle, another driver from Western Australia here in Q1. Sam Fennick with a great pass, but all eyes were on Kelvin Lyle with a 5.69. Like, where did that come from, Rob?
Oh, I mean, Fennick was a 5.78, but 5.69 for Lyle. Man, that had the whole raceway talking.
And what about these hot conditions? What, 5.69? We just saw that. Benny Bray up against Mark Hinchelwood, a rookie here in Pro Slammer as well. His second event in Slammer.
Bray put it straight on down the middle with a fairly conservative 5.95, a 6.00 for Hinchelwood in the AC Delco car.
Now we've seen that 5.69 from Kelvin Lyle. His teammate, also from West Australia, well, not teammate, but from West Australia, John Zappia, up against Paul Mahayat, the champion.
Mahayat got across the line first okay, but his 5.80 was no match for Zappia's 5.73.
Well, that left a surprise number one qualifier, Kelvin Lyle, with that 5.69 as we headed into Q2. Scott McLean now taking on Michelle Davies. Both drivers not really representative there in that first session, but this time around, Scott McLean.
McLean 5.70 ahead of Davies 6.0, and McLean wild ride in the deep end, got it sideways and used up a little bit of Sydney Dragway's beach.
You could see he had the brakes locked on hard, but it just wasn't enough. Dipped it in there.
Well, Trevor Smith in the Kiwi Statesman up against Emilio Spinozzi. This was Q2, late in the afternoon, Friday. Spinozzi jumped out with a big advantage off the start line.
Yeah, he took it through for a 6.22. Trevor Smith from New Zealand went a 6.44.
So Victor Bray back with a Gulf Western Oil 57 Chevrolet was next up to take on Daniel Gregorini, the scratch and match Camaro from Western Australia.
Both these guys went into that low 6-second zone in the first session of qualifying. This session time around, one of them would dip into the fives and be Victor with a 5.99.
And of course Gregorini wasn't far behind with a 6.01.
Mark Hinchelwood for AC Delco there in the Monaro. Next bearing out, he was taking on Benny Bray in the Corvette for Gulf Western Oils.
Now, this pair finished the championship's third and fourth in the title. Qualifying was going to be close, not much in it. Across the line first was Hinchelwood, but guess what? Bray got the time, 5.82 ahead of Hinchelwood's 5.84.
Now, our number one qualifier, what could he do here in this session? The conditions were a lot cooler. We'd seen a lot of cars go quicker. He ran that 5.69, taking on Jeff Gradden.
Well, Graddon kept it glued, but Lyle had to lift the foot off the throttle momentarily. That cost him with a 6.0, but Graddon, 5.89, he jumped into that top part of the field.
Yeah, it was a really good pass there from the Saratoga team. Next pairing out, we've got Stephen Ham on screen for Fuso there from Brisbane, taking on Sam Fennick.
Well, Ham had already run a 5.70 in the first round of qualifying. These two beautiful Camaros going side by side.
And how about this for a run in qualifying, Rob?
Once again, don't be fooled by who was across the line first, because a 5.72 for Fennick, but what about Ham? 5.69.
Yeah, these guys are one to watch definitely this season, Pro Slammer. And they meet again in the final pairing here for Q2. John Zappia, Paul Mahayat.
1 and 2 in the championship last year, 1 and 2 in the standings this year, but in reversed order. Mahayat got out with a hole shot. Zappia ran him down and runs a 5.66 ahead of a 5.77. So when it all shook out after 2 sessions, the rain came, and this is where they landed. John Zappia in first, 5.66 ahead of Ham, Lyle, McLean, Fennick, Mahayat, Bray, Hinshelwood, Graddon, Victor Bray rounding out the top 10, and another 4 to race. Gregorini, Davies, Spinozzi and Smith. So Mark, 14 cars into round 1 of eliminations coming up now. Good crowd packing into the shade of the grandstand here at Sydney Dragway. And what a way to open it. Ben Bray for Gulf Western Oil in the Corvette. And of course in the Monaro, it's Mark Hinshelwood, the rookie, who surprised a few up at Hidden Valley's Nitro up north, and currently sits 3rd in the championship points.
Yeah, it's a great start for the rookie driver behind this experienced team, but you can see the crew here adjusting the wheelie bars. Everything is absolutely millimetre perfect. They want this wheelie bar at the right spot, so when the car launches, they'll measure how long the wheelie bar touches the ground. You can see the marks in front of the car of Mark Hinshelwood there on track.
It's vital, isn't it? Because if it's too low, it'll unload the rear tyres.
Exactly, that's right. If it's too low, if it's too high, then the front wheels come up in the air for too long. You can't steer, obviously.
So, Bray versus Hinshelwood, round 1. Oh. It will be Hinshelwood. Bray got loose and had to get out of it. Hinshelwood 5.92, 3.96, and Rusty's got the team owner.
Yeah, guys, down here with Morris Fabietti, team owner for Mark Hinshelwood, mate. The rookie, he keeps going rounds, 5.92.
Yeah, he's starting to get used to the car now. He's doing a good job driving, so it's a good win for A2 Delco Monaro.
Have a look at this replay, Mark.
Yeah,
I mean, they both had some driving to do.
They did. Great drive job there from Hinshelwood. The thing that impresses me, Hinshelwood, his reaction times are really, really sharp. Benny Bray here on board, he had shake. You could see the camera just shaking there. He got out of the groove. He had to button it off and roll through.
Yeah, tyre shake's an evil thing, isn't it?
It is. I'm sure he's going to be popping some Panadol back in the pits there. Benny Bray on track, though. Our reigning, defending 400 Thunder champion, Paul Mahayat, to take on Jeff Graddon in the Saratoga for Sigma Rolling Stock.
Well, I mean, in the Moitz Mustang for Komatsu, Paul Mahayat did qualify well, but he'd still be nervous because he knows Jeff Graddon's got plenty of potential in this car. Did qualify in the 5-second zone. It is very warm. The teams know that if you overstep the mark, well, we just saw what happened to Ben Bray. It got up into that tyre shake where the vibration just makes it impossible to stay on the throttle.
Oh, it's a red light from Graddon.
Win light will go to Paul Mahayat with a 581, 407. That's fairly conservative for that team, but a win's a win.
I don't know if that's what they were aiming for, but 407 kilometers per hour there. 5.81 seconds. That was a good pass from Paul Mahayat. He goes through to the second round of racing here. Rusty on the start line with Glenn Davies.
Yeah, it's another win in the bank for Paul Mahayat down here with Glenn Davies, crew chief for Paul this weekend. Mate, number 6 qualify, not where you expect to start from, but you still get the first round win.
Yeah, we do, mate. That's what we were chasing. We had a few curveballs thrown at us yesterday and the day before, but we're back on track. We're just going to take it one round at a time.
One round at a time. That's the motto for these guys this weekend.
I'll try and grab Paul here. He's got through to the first round. Paul, can I grab you for a couple of seconds, mate? You've got through to the first round, mate. Well done. How'd you find the track this morning?
Yeah, it was all right. It's actually better than we expected. I pulled a little bit too much out of it, but you know, we got the first win, so we'll go take the next one as it comes.
Fantastic, mate. Well done.
Thank you very much. Thanks, guys.
Well, that confirms that he was a little bit conservative, Mark.
He did. He took a little bit out. We heard that from the man. So he'll step up next round. Okay, our next pairing here in round 1 for Pro Slammer, Sam Fennick for Lloyd's Classic Car Auctions.
This beautiful new Camaro. And he is in beside a legend. 6 times Australian Slammer champion Victor Bray for Gulf Western Oil. And look who's leaning in the car. He's got back from the braking area at the speed of light as Ben Bray. We heard the drivers talking about the cool suits. We can see one there with Ben. He's got the cooling line hanging from the belt.
I wonder if we can get one of those up here in the commentary box.
It would be useful.
Be nice. On track, Sam Fennick edging this car forward.
On paper, Sam Fennick would be favourite, but the crowd favourite is probably Victor Bray. Well, Fennick will win it. 581, 406. Victor had that shake, but it was all Fennick.
Yeah, it was a good drive from Sam Fennick there down here with Mark Savage, crew chief for Sam. 581 seems to be the number in the heat of the day. That's what we just saw Paul Mahey go as well. Was that what you were shooting for?
Yeah, definitely what we were shooting for. Just trying to race smart in the heat and get past the first one. And we got the winner of Gregorini and McLean in the next one. We'll see what they run and decide what we're going to try and run. So
you guys are already looking rounds ahead. You've got this confidence about you this weekend, despite the lead up to the event. It's great to see for this Lloyd's Classic Car Auctions team.
Yeah, the car's reacting, doing exactly what we tell it to do. Sam's doing a great job behind the wheel. You know, for the first time driving a converter car, he's on the tree. He got it down the racetrack there. It's going to be a good weekend, I think.
Have a look at that. We saw Victor Bray smoke the tyres on the hit of the throttle, so he was going nowhere, and a nice straight pass for Fennick. But that raises something. Here's Scott McLean. He is, McLean Motorsport Monaro has been lightning fast. He's up against Daniel Gregorini. But we just heard from one of the American crew chiefs, Mark, they're thick on the ground.
That they are. Darren May also here this weekend for the Scott McLean team, tuning this Monaro. Qualified great with a 5.70. Daniel Gregorini only ran a low 6-second pass in qualifying. So at the moment, lane choice went to McLean. He's taking this lane closest to screen. But this is Pro Slammer racing. Anything can absolutely happen here.
And normally does. We've already seen, Ben Bray was a higher qualifier up against Mark Hinchelwood. That didn't count for much. You know, so let's see what happens here. McLean has to start favourite though. This thing has run as quick as, 5.57 in testing. Oh my goodness, I thought that was McLean all the way, but guess what? A red light threw it away. Gregorini with a 6.08. You take them how you get them.
Down here with James Rowland from Daniel Gregorini's crew, mate. A win's a win, 6.08. Good for the first round.
Yeah, the driver saved us on that one. Smoked the tyres and he pedalled it and ran a 6.0. So we fought a pretty big electrical drama all yesterday, and it looks like we fixed that this morning, and it's pleasing.
The car's got the best of all the gear that you could get. 6.08. In the heat of the day, it's not too bad. As he said, it smoked the tyres, but now you know where the line is.
Yeah, that's right. The track obviously wasn't as good as we thought, but we get another shot in a couple of hours.
Back up to you guys.
Man, Scott McLean out. Well, he was number 4.
Number 4 in qualifying with a 5.70. And Gregorini, he goes through to round 2, an upset win there.
Well, here's somebody that's going to be hoping for an upset. Michelle Davies in this beautiful Mustang. She's taking on a similar style of car, but it's our number 1 qualifier, Kelvin Lyle for Direct Mining and Industrial. Now, we always knew that Kelvin was going to be quick, but I don't think we expected him to be number 1.
I did not expect that 5.69 at all from Kelvin Lyle in that first qualifying session. But the thing is, he only got down the track once out of the 2 qualifiers. Michelle Davies will be right there beside him, still looking for that first 5-second pass for the team.
Well, Lyle tried a bit harder in Q2, of course, overpowered things a little bit and was overtaken by John Zappia and Stephen Ham. But he's still here as number 3 qualifier going into eliminations. 4 rounds of racing today at the East Coast Thunder at Sydney Dragway. Can Lyle keep marching, or are we going to see any more upsets?
third red light of the first round of Pro Slammer racing. This time it's in the lane of Michelle Davies, handing the win to the Western Australian there. Kelvin Lyle, he goes through to the second round of Pro Slammer.
Yeah, we saw that Shelley just left a 1/10 of a second before the green came on, so it never did. But Kelvin Lyle, very, very conservative there. Look, it had to have a pedal, dropped the cylinder that stopped firing, and he only ran a 5.93.
That's it. He's through to round 2 though. Emilio Spinozzi.
Now Spinozzi is our number 13 qualifier, and he has a mountain to climb because he's up against Stephen Ham.
Sorry, Rob, I was just looking at the replay here of Stephen Ham. Have a look at him. He is sideways in the burnout.
I was looking back at the qualifying sheet and missed that. Man, he's looking at drifting. As I say, he's our number 2 qualifier. Ran a very stout 5.69. Takes on the number 13, Emilio Spinozzi, who qualified back with a 6.22. So there is that mountain to climb for Emilio Spinozzi in the Speedmaster car up against the Fuso Brisbane Camaro.
Spinozzi has been getting a lot of round wins in this car.
And he's got another one because Steve Ham got loose, got a little out of shape, had to shut the thing down, and a 6.11. Not fast, but a win light's a win light for Emilio Spinozzi.
He gets another round win there. Stephen Ham was way out in front. He was streaking away, but he had issues and allowed Emilio Spinozzi to sneak on past Jason with the driver in the braking area.
Yeah, g'day guys. We'll let Emilio pull out of the car. Emilio, if I can grab you for a second, buddy. He's just pulled off a win there. I'm pretty sure he's going to be happy with that. You'll see those big pearly whites. Emilio, you got the win, buddy. You're going through the next round.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. We actually got through with no shake. I'm not sure what it ran. It didn't run a 5, I don't think. But yeah, we're going to the next round, so we'll go back and turn the car around and see what happens on the next one.
I believe it was a low 6, but you probably put a Pro Stock light on him, yeah? Is that what I'm hearing?
Oh, I'm not too sure, mate.
Congratulations, mate.
Thanks very much. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Back to you guys.
Well, John Zappia is the championship leader after the Nitro up north at Hidden Valley Drag Strip. And
he's our number 1 qualifier today, Rob. We've just seen number 2 qualifier go out in round 1 of racing. Absolutely anything can happen.
Well, there is Trevor Smith, living the dream, across from New Zealand, came across for the Gulf West North Winter Nationals and had so much fun. He said, I've run my personal best. I'm going to leave the car here and let's see whether we can go some rounds. But he's up against the man in Pro Slammer, John Zappia for Fuchs and Danone Hot Shots.
I just saw something. The dash lights, all that went off in Zappia's car in that onboard shot as well.
Well, that's a bit odd. That I can see some exhaust there. It's still good.
There's nothing there at all.
There's nothing on the dash. I don't know whether it's just a dash failure, but no, there's something more. I don't think that car's running. And Trevor Smith, number 14 qualifier, the Kiwi is going to go to round 2. It's only a 650, but who cares? He's there. Rusty Gregory, what's going on?
There's a lot of head scratching going on down here. I just asked Richard Zappia, John's brother, what happened. He said, no idea. The car just cut out. It could have been a flat battery. It could have been any number of things. But as you can see over my shoulder, John Zappia, the points leader, out in round 1.
Man, have a look at this. You picked it. You saw that screen go dead. You'd have to say it's electrical. And then he's in pre-stage. He's 6 inches from getting into the start line and the motor goes dead. He's going nowhere. 7 seconds after there, the green light comes on for Trevor Smith, and all he's got to do is keep it in his own lane, and he takes the first round win.
The drag racing gods can be so vicious sometimes. The championship leader, implications. He's out in round 1. That leaves the door open for a lot of teams.
Well, Paul Mahayat's already gone through round 1, so that is going to make things interesting. Let's have a look. Trevor Smith beat the number 1 qualifier. So in round 2, he takes over the bye spot. It'll be Gregorini against Fennick, Emilio Spinozzi against Mark Hinchelwood, Kelvin Lyle and Paul Mahayat. That has to be the race of the round. Mahayat has to take advantage of the fact that the championship leader's out to try and build some points for the defence of his title. We're going to see it straight after the break. Welcome back to Sydney Dragway's East Coast Thunder. We're in Pro Slammer. Round one was full of upsets. Now, as the afternoon cools down, we're going to have a fantastic round two of Pro Slammer. But the discussion right around the pits has been all of the unpredictable results so far. None more so than our championship leader, John Zappia, had some sort of problem, never even got to contest the race in round one. Rusty's got him now.
Yeah, mate, down here with John Zappia, packing up the pit area, which is not something we're used to seeing after the first round of racing. John, talk us through what happened. Obviously, everyone saw what happened, but what's the truth of the story?
Well, basically, I was backing up from the burnout, and then I noticed the dash went black. And I went, oh, that's cool, I can drive without a dash, so I don't need a shift light and that. And then as I was coming into the stage, I put the first light on, waited for the other guys. They seemed to take a long time to come in, and then it just spluttered and conked out, and that's when I realised that the battery had drained the battery down and cut the ignition.
Yeah, so talk it through. So it's not the starter battery, it's not the battery that starts the engine, it's the battery that runs all the systems in the car.
Yeah, it's just the battery that runs the electronic ignition control, and that's it. You know, if you run a magneto direct, then it doesn't need a battery and it'll keep running, but when you've got a grid, MSD grid, they use a slight bit of power, and the solenoids for the fuel solenoids use a lot of power, so the longer you take, the more power it took, and we just, you know, didn't go out there with a fully topped up battery. It was half, not full.
Wow, that's unlucky there for the John Zappia team.
But doesn't it just throw the championship open at this early stage? And what about for this guy, the ultimate underdog? Could he do a Bradbury? He's like Trevor Smith in the Statesman from New Zealand has not only gone through round one, he's now going into the semi-finals. He's only going to be one race away from the finals.
It's absolutely incredible. It's a real underdog story here. Trevor Smith, the B&T Earth moving forward. You can see his crew guy here just guiding, using his hand, guide the driver, just getting it perfectly in the groove. You can see the groove there on screen just in front of the car as well.
Now the groove, what you're referring to is the part where the most rubber is, Mark?
Exactly, that's the maximum traction. So these guys lay down that burnout. You can see the burnout marks there. They want to try and stage as correct as possible on that those two marks that they've created.
Well, Trevor Smith will get a win on this second round race. Can he run a personal best? It'll be a hell of a performance in these warm conditions. Runs a 6:32, not quite as quick as he has run at Willowbank Raceway, but 363 kilometres an hour. Doesn't matter. The big news, though, Mark, is he's going to the semi-finals.
He's in the semi-finals. Trevor Smith, have a look at the replay here. He takes that car right through the traps. You're travelling at 363 kilometres per hour there on Trevor Smith.
Well, Rusty's got a interested spectator down in the pits.
You never know who you're going to find down here on the start line either. I've got this guy who used to be somebody, Mark Valeri, former Pro Slammer champion, handed the reins over to Mark Hinchelwood this week, and at least they didn't need to change the name on the door too much.
No, he's going well. In his second meeting, he won first round, so no, he's happy. He's going good.
He's going well, and any itchy feet coming out here? I know drivers generally don't make good spectators when they come out on the start line.
Not when it's 38 degrees. I'm happy being out of the car.
Absolutely, mate. Great to see you out here. Any plans to return any time in the near future?
Oh, we'll see. Never say never, but at this stage, no.
Round two of Pro Slammer. Next pairing up, Camaro head-to-head again.
We've just seen the burnout procedure there by both Daniel Gregorini and Sam Fennick. Gregorini to the right of screen, Fennick to the left.
Yeah, Gregorini in the scratch and match, black and green Camaro. And of course Fennick with this all-new car of his for Lloyd's Classic Car Auctions. And you'd have to put this one down as a bit of a classic in itself.
Yeah, Gregorini has had some electrical issues so far this weekend. They're hoping to have got on top of it this second round of racing against Fennick, because Fennick has been really fast so far in this new car. Has run a best of 5.7 second pass already.
Yeah, I think Fennick is one of the guys that you'll be looking at, particularly when you think that John Zappia has fallen by the wayside in round one. Scott McLean went by the wayside in round one. Ben Bray in the Gulf West Mill Corvette he went out in round one. It is the upset Nationals, I reckon.
I think you're on the money there, Rob, so far. I think that's car of Sam Phoenix. I reckon these guys are knocking on the door of 5.6 seconds. I reckon they could be the next team to join those cars in that 560 zone.
Well, the great leveller here is the conditions. On prior performance, you know that Sam Fennick and this talented team probably have a slight edge. But soon as you go out there in these very hot and tricky track conditions, it comes down to a little bit of a lottery.
It's all Sam Fennick this time around, 581 at 409 kilometres per hour. He takes out Daniel Gregorini with a great 594 as well, but Sam Fennick through to the semi-finals.
Car drove through a little bit of mild shake, but all in all, I think they'll be very happy with that in these conditions.
It was a great smooth pass. A little bit of a wiggle there, but straight down the middle, 581.
Well, Jason Hedges, he has to have the happiest Kiwi in Sydney with him down there in the braking area.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, I'm here with Trevor Smith. Trevor, you're going through to the semi-final of this meeting. How's that feel?
Oh, excellent. Whoever thought this would have happened? It's just, yeah, excellent.
Congratulations, mates. Well done.
No, thanks very much.
Back to you guys.
Yeah, guys, back here on the start line with Mark Savage, crew chief for Sam Fennick. Mate, you guys are semi-final bound, another 581.
Yeah, this Lloyd's car's on a string, man. It's responding really nice to the changes and just trying to race smart in this heat. You know, go up and down the racetrack and just keep going rounds. I feel good about it. I think we got a good shot.
On a personal note, you're from Canada. It's hot. How are you handling it?
Yeah, it's everybody at home's complaining about the cold, and I'm complaining about the heat. So, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
There is Mark Hinchwood inside the AC Delco Holden Trade Club Monaro. His first season of Pro Slammer. Has raced a number of other supercharged cars though. And speaking of newcomers to Pro Slammer, Emilio Spinozzi. Now Mark, this guy's come from Pro Stock. Massive difference in the driving.
It is a huge difference. He's come from a car that's only got about 1,100, 1,200 horsepower to this beast, which has got 3,000, 4,000 horsepower. He's gone from manually shifting a 5-speed gearbox to pressing a button on the steering wheel, 3-speed or 4-speed in some cases as well, 5-speed in some cases, but it's completely different to the Pro Stock driving.
One of the big differences in Pro Slammer these days, they used to be all 3-speed Lenco transmissions or maybe a B&J, but people are experimenting now with 5-speed transmissions, some 4s. They've gone from clutches to torque converters in front of some of them, and it is all a case of experimentation. Now, for Speedmaster and Atashi, Emilio Spinozzi, number 13 qualifier, is in round 2. He's up against the man that is currently 3rd in the championship, Mark Hinchelwood. And I am giving up and predicting winners here at the East Coast Thunder.
You can see the revs building on board there for Hinchelwood as he cleaned the engine out. You can see it went up from about 2,000 revs to about 4,000 as he cleaned the engine out, just made sure there was no fuel left in there.
That's right, you don't want any sort of stumble off the start line. 1,000th of a second can cost you a drag race, particularly in 400 Thunder Pro Slammer. They're in. Oh, Hinchelwood way loose and tags the fence.
Spinozzi gets another win, a 617, 409 kilometres per hour. Big speed from the team. They go through the semi-finals, but all eyes were on Hinchelwood.
Have a look at this. The car loose and wild tyre shake. He got it down and just sideswipes that fence. Magic drive job.
Yeah, Mark Hinchelwood. It was a red light as well on the track, but not what you want to have in here in round 2. Rusty's on the start line with the crew chief for our winner, Michael Marriott.
It was actually a fairly soft impact. Mark did a great job of trying to keep that thing shiny side up. I'm down here with the winning crew chief for that run. Not the way you want to win it when you see the other guy on the wall, but nonetheless, you guys are going to the semi-finals. Michael Marriott.
First of all, really, really bad to see some car going to the wall. We're all friends here. We all want to help each other. We all want to race. Yes, we all want to win. That was awesome. To know how much this is a team sport, you needed to be in our pits. about 4 minutes ago because we couldn't get that car to run. We had to change everything in the ignition system to make it fire. It fired at the very last minute, and then we were able to get out here. We've got an awesome driver, an awesome crew, and that's why that happened, and that's why no one was in uniform, because we just didn't have time.
Just didn't have time. It's always a thrash in a drag racing pit area. Jason, you're at the top end of the racetrack.
Emilio Spinozzi's just peeling himself out of this gorgeous car down here, and guess what? You're going to the semi-final.
Yeah, it's pretty unbelievable. We had a little bit of an issue getting started, so appreciate the boys waiting for us. We had electrical issues, we had to swap out the mag and stuff. But I'm not sure. I think Mark might have tagged the wall, so I'm just wondering if he's okay.
I didn't hear anything, mate, but congratulations on the win. Go get this thing turned around, and we'll see you next round.
Thank you.
Well, the good news is that Mark Hinshelwood is A-OK, and we're moving on. There he is.
Do that again.
Have a look at this guy.
Well, he was okay.
No worries, guys. Yeah, look, that's Pro Slammer racing. These things are absolutely on edge. That just goes to show you how quickly it can get really ugly. So, luckily the car, it'll buff out. I'm going to get a grilling back in the trailer, I'm sure, and I probably won't be walking for about 3 weeks.
You'll be right. In good spirits, the AC Delco team, and of course Morris Fabietti, team owner there with Mark Hinshelwood. Well, here's the guy that in round one of qualifying was our surprise packet, Kelvin Lyle, and he is looking strong, but look who he's beside. Paul Mahayat from Moitz Racing, Mack Trucks, Komatsu, the reigning Pro Slammer champion. I said in the lead-up this was the race of the round for me, and I haven't changed my mind yet, Mark.
I think you're on the money there. You know, Paul Mahayat, he said he was a little bit conservative in that first round of racing for Pro Slammer. He will need to step it up here because we know what Kelvin Lyle did in qualifying, that great 5.69. Probably say Mahayat's been a little bit off this weekend from what we've seen. He's been in the 570 zone, but probably expected a little bit more.
Well, you know, the rest of the field is marching forward, that is for sure, and these hot conditions have been the curveball. Oh, massive hole shot for Lyle. Paul Mahayat was late. He was so late, it will be Lyle. 592, 405, and Mahayat hasn't taken advantage, Rusty.
I tell you what, it's more about the names that aren't in the semi-final. Let's go through them. John Zapier, Steve Ham, Paul Mahayat, Victor Bray, Ben Bray. None of those guys are in the semi-finals. I tried to grab someone from the Moitz team. They just said, no, we don't want to talk.
Have a look at this. Lyle goes straight on down the middle, but Paul Mahayat was so late on the reaction time, you could see it. There's a couple of car lengths, and then he got loose, Mark.
Yeah, he was behind the 8 ball right from the start. The huge hole shot for Kelvin Lyle. He goes through, but Paul Mahayat doesn't take his chance here in round 2 of Pro Slammer.
Have a look at these semi-finals that's set up. Trevor Smith, number 14, underdog to take on Sam Fennick. Emilio Spinozzi, number 13, underdog to take on Kelvin Lyle. Man, if those two could go through the final, wouldn't that be something?
No matter what happens there, we're going to have a first-time winner here in Pro Slammer.
And what we know is it's going to be one hell of a semi-final. Join us after the break and find out who's going to battle it out for the trophies. Well, on 400 Thunder Drag Racing, the surprises just keep coming at Sydney Dragway at the East Coast Thunder in Pro Slammer. Semi-final time coming up, Mark, and you wouldn't have picked this for?
Not at all. We've got upsets galore here. No matter what happens with the 4 drivers we got left, we're going to have a first-time winner here in Pro Slammer.
Fantastic stuff for Emilio Spinozzi and the Hitachi Speedmaster team to take their place in the final against this man, Kelvin Lyle, for Direct Mining and Industrial across from Western Australia. Has been a revelation with the performances he's put down, and well, he is hot favourite for this semi-final, but that has not stopped Emilio in round 1 or in round 2.
And he keeps getting round wins, Emilio Spinozzi. This is only like his 3rd event in Pro Slammer for Emilio Spinozzi, so this team, they've just been ticking over the wins. going about their business and haven't run into the fives yet, but that's just not stopping them. They're there at the right moment at the finish line, taking their chances.
Well, while the heat here at Sydney Dragway has taken its toll on some of our spectators, I would suggest, it has also made this the most unpredictable Pro Slammer race I have seen in a long, long time. And we have to say it's been entertaining, Mark.
It has been entertaining. There you can see the wheelie bars getting final adjustments. Crew guys looking through Kelvin Lyle's car. They're happy. They're sending him forward.
This is for a spot in the final of Pro Slammer at the East Coast Thunder. Winner gets a swag of championship points and a 400 Thunder Gold Christmas Tree Trophy. That's what they're fighting for. They want to go through to that final and have the chance to be the man on the top of the podium.
They can also leapfrog John Zappia in the championship standings as well.
Lyle's in. There goes Spinozzi. Great wheel stand for Lyle. I thought Spinozzi was going to come back at him because Lyle is slow. Only a 6:31. Spinozzi was coming at him, Mark, and I think the chutes came out early.
I'm not sure. Yeah, it looked like Spinozzi was going to come back around. He ran a 6:38 beside him. Nothing between the two drivers. It swap and change. I had no idea what was going to happen in that run. Did Lyle lose power?
I don't know. What a great wheel stand off the start line. I don't know whether it's unsettled the car, but have a look at Spinozzi. The chute was out way early, and that's probably cost him a spot in the final. This is still so unpredictable. Rusty, I've seen it all.
Really weird race, that one. I'm down here with John Salimi, crew chief for Kelvin Lyle. Mate, a win's a win, but that was strange.
Yeah, we're just trying to get things more in line here, and we're making really, really good runs in the hardest part of the track to make good runs, and then we're having mechanical issues outside, so we're doing our best, and win's a win. Take them how you can get them.
Take the points. Down to you, Jason.
Thanks, Rusty. I'm down here with Kelvin Lyle. Kelvin, you're going to the final of the East Coast Thunder Pro Slammer. How's that make you feel?
Yeah, we've been at it for a while now, and yeah, it's great. It's great for the crew, great for everyone. We've been struggling the last few meetings, and we're finally getting our act together for sure.
Well, who's going to join Kelvin Lyle in the final? Will it be Sam Fennick or will it be Trevor Smith?
I'm not saying. I'm still trying to get my breath back after Emilio Spinozzi. Fantastic job by the team. Was only a 6:38 or something with the chutes out early. If he'd run one of his 6.1, 6.2s, he would have been in the final of the East Coast Thunder. But take nothing away from Kelvin Lyle. Been a class act right throughout this event. Now, can Trevor Smith continue the Kiwi fairy tale story, or will Sam Fennick, on debut for the Lloyd's Classic Car Auctions Camaro, go through to join Kelvin Lyle to fight out for that gold Christmas tree?
Trevor Smith, he's got help on board from the Team Bray camp this weekend. You can see Benny Bray there on screen adjusting.
Just the air bleeds.
Yep.
In the back of the injector hat there. A little squirt of fuel to stop the injector butterflies from freezing up.
And it seems to be issues here with Trevor Smith's car. Can it get into gear? It's moving forward. Yep. Looks like it's all okay now. Sam Fennick waiting patiently over there in the far lane. Trevor Smith, he's going to need a 5-second pass here against Sam Fennick because they've been pretty consistent in that 5-second zone.
Just being guided in now in the Lloyd's Classic Car Auctions Camaro. This is for a spot in the final of Pro Slammer up against Kelvin Lyle.
Australia versus New Zealand.
If Trevor Smith goes to this final, it is absolutely going to be remarkable. And it's not going to happen. The dream ends here because Sam Fennick, 576, 409, not only goes to the final, but he goes into it with lane choice, Mark.
That's a great pass from the team there, 576. He gets lane choice in the final against Kelvin Lyle. On board here with Trevor Smith, you could see Fennick streaking away, but Trevor Smith, he still went a 6-1 pass. That was a good run for the team as well.
I think his best for the weekend it was for Smith and the BNT Statesman.
The fairy tale ends there in the semi-finals for Trevor Smith. But the team of Sam Fennick, they will go through to the final. Ricey's down there on the start line with crew chief Mark Savage.
Yeah, with Mark Savage down here. Mate, 2 weeks ago, I said in a trailer with you after the car hit the wall, and you said, you know what, we're going to try and take that gold Christmas tree when we come back. You guys are in with a shot. You're in the final with lane choice.
Yeah, I'm loving this Lloyd's car, man. This new car is great. You can come up and basically bracket race the thing. Got a pretty good idea what it's going to run, and it's repeating. And we got all the guys out from Lloyd's Classic Car Auctions here today, and hopefully we're putting on a good show for them. So
new sponsor, new car. They're doing everything right. Hopefully for them, they can take home a new trophy at the end of the day. Down to you, Jace.
The other half of the Pro Slammer final, Sam, how's that make you feel? You've got lane choice as well.
Yeah, thank you very much. You know, the car's going really well. The Lloyd's auction, Pro Slammer, we're here. It's our first event with this new car. We got all our sponsors up there in our tent. So, yeah, we're looking forward to coming back out for the final.
You should be very proud of your achievements. One more to go, mate. Well done.
Thank you very much, Jason. Thank you.
Well, what a final in Pro Slammer we have got coming up. This is the way we mowed through them. Trevor Smith, after a win against John Zappia, had the bye, went to the semi. That's where he met Sam Fennick. Fennick goes through to meet Lyle. That is going to be a clash of the Titans. The winner could very well go to the top of the heap in the Pro Slammer Championship points. It's final time in Pro Slammer at Sydney Dragway's East Coast Thunder. We have got West Australia versus New South Wales. Kelvin Lyle and Sam Fennick. Oh, Fennick a bit serious in the burnout, Mark.
Yeah, he was. He was having a bit of fun there. This, of course, is the final. He's putting on a show for the spectators here. Kelvin Lyle on board. We can see him backing up here. Crew gets in front of the car to guide him back nice and straight on those burnout marks that he would have just laid down.
If you have a look at their performances in qualifying, then you have a look at their performances in each round of racing, there's nothing between these two. You can't pick a favourite, can you?
Absolutely not. Like, Lyle had the qualifying spot, but race day so far has been with Fennick. ET-wise, he's been pretty consistent in the 570 zone. He had lane choice. We're on board with Fennick. He's taken that lane right of screen here.
And of course, if Lyle showed a weakness, it was probably in that semi-final because the car only ran a 630 odd. I'm not sure exactly what was wrong. I think he thought he had it win, but Spinozzi was coming on strong.
Yeah, you can see the car there of Sam Fennick on screen. You can see the breather there on the back of the car. It's a catch tank there with the excess fluids from the engine. You know, a bit of heat that sort of just hazes out of the back there. Nowhere near the rear slicks.
And nothing to worry about. So they are headed for the start line. For Direct Mining Industrial is Kelvin Lyle. And of course for Lloyd's Classic Car Auctions is Sam Fennick. Classic Mustang and a classic Camaro.
Yeah, no matter what happens here, Rob, we're going to have a first-time winner in Pro Slammer.
Well, if Lyle wins this, he goes to the lead of the championship. If Fennick wins it, I think he closes up just behind Zappia, and Lyle will be right in the mix. Wheel stand again for Lyle, but big problems for Sam Fennick. Lyle 583, 404. He wins the East Coast Thunder. He goes to the lead of the Pro Slammer 400 Thunder Australian Championship. But this car had some problems, Mark.
Yeah, this is the replay I want to see. Oh, a big boom there for Sam Fennick. The supercharger popping there, the burst panel gone. The supercharger, you can see it just moving around. It's a big bang, wasn't it?
Instantly, you see the parachutes come out. That's now an automatic thing when there's a backfire under the supercharger. Kelvin Lyle, what a win.
And yes, he is. It's his first win in the East Coast Thunder Pro Slammer. Trophy goes to Kelvin Lyle.
Thank you. Yes, it's been a long time. Yeah, what can I say? I mean, the crew's been great. We've had John Zappia helping us for the last couple of years, and we've got his engines in the car, and they make great power. And we ended up getting John Salimi over for this meeting, and and he's getting us down the track, so hopefully we can keep doing it.
You had your work cut out for you all weekend, mate. You should be proud of you and your crew. You've done a fantastic job. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's been a tough weekend, but yeah, we're here.
Back to you guys.
Well, after an unbelievable round of Pro Slammer in the 400 Thunder Professional Series, we've got a first-time winner in Kelvin Lyle, and he now leads the 400 Thunder Pro Slammer Championship from John Zappia. Paul Mahayat only 2 points behind Zappia. Fennick, a big charge up into 4th. Mark Hinchelwood into 5th. Then it's Spinozzi, Bray, Taylor and Dak. Fantastic stuff. The next round of the Pro Slammer Championship happens at Willowbank Raceway on January 5, the New Year Thunder. We're going to be bringing that to you here on 400 Thunder TV. Well, Mark, Sydney Dragway certainly had everything for us in Pro Slammer.
Who would have thought we'd leave this event with Calvin Lyle in the championship lead for Pro Slammer? It is completely unpredictable.
Well, we've got more great action from Sydney Dragway's East Coast Thunder coming up. Join us next time when we bring you all of the racing from Pro Alcohol.
There's more to come after the break as we head over to Italy for round 6 of the FIM Enduro GP World Championship.